everyone, and welcome to Amanda's Side Quest. Today, I'm going to be building and creating my forever save file in The Sims 4. I've always wanted to do this.
I've tried to do this many times, failed to do this many times.
I just want to make a world that I am no longer bored of playing. I can play multiple Sims, and I can just have a grand old time doing tandem gameplay. Now, when I say tandem gameplay, I mean auto age is on, our Sims are moving in, our Sims are moving out, our Sims are getting married, our Sims are having babies, our Sims are
dying, okay?
And we're letting nature take its course accordingly. I want my Sims to continuously evolve so that I no longer get bored of my gameplay. So with that being said, today we are making my forever world and I'm so excited, and we are starting with the basics. We are starting in none other than Willow Creek. Willow Creek, the oasis springs of them all, tend to be my lower income areas, okay? A little rough around the edges, if you will. So let's get started. So let's head on right over to Willow Creek, where we're gonna start right here in Foundry Cove. Now, before we do that, we do need to get rid of all of these lots and make them empty spaces. As you can see here, I got rid of all of my lots and made them empty spaces, except for the Pancakes household, because I want to show you how I did it in the easiest and fastest way I know possible. You're going to open up the gallery, find a lot that's about the same size as the lot you're trying to cover, go to the search bar, type in empty lot, and a fellow simmer probably uploaded an empty lot for you. So you're just going to click on any of the ones that you see there, and it's going to bring you back out to the world where you're going to click on the lot that you want to change. So once you click that check mark there, it's going to go into build mode and you are going to have an empty space after that. This is the fastest way I know possible to get rid of your lots instead of, going into manage worlds, building it, bulldozing it, and coming back out. You can just empty all your lots right there in manage worlds. So we're gonna start at this end house here. I am gonna make these speed builds, and I will go ahead and introduce you to the Sims I moved in after the build is done. Now you're gonna see I did make these homes a little more abandoned looking than I had desired at first. I did say these are my lower income homes. This is my lower income area, but I just let my creative mind go and built the way my heart desired. So there's no take backsies, and without further ado, let's get into our first build in Willow Creek. We are about to get into the speed build, but really quick, I just wanted to show you guys that I did go ahead and go into the gallery to save some time and some sanity. I went into the gallery and I got a low income shell by user 07lovey15. So thank you for that. This is a common theme that I am going to do in my forever save file, just to, again, like I said, save time and sanity. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the super speedy speed build. have finished our first house in Willow Creek. I was a little rusty on this one, just trying to find my rhythm, but let's go ahead and take a tour. So heading into our front door, we're greeted with our living room, grandma's old couch, a little bench, seating, storage area, old TV, very much cluttered, just giving cluttered, old, cracks on the wall, dirt on the wall, just trying to fit a vibe here. Then we're gonna head into the kitchen, which is probably the cleanest area in the house. Some dirt on the walls, but nothing crazy. We've got a bunch of clutter everywhere, which I love. If you know me, you know I love the clutter in The Sims. But heading over to the bathroom now, just a basic dirty bathroom. Just your necessities, a shower. Love this little shower curtain, shower thing we've got going on here. Then we're going to head over to our little girl's room where we're greeted with a clothes rack and a lot of more clutter. Just looking like a kid's room should, you know, a little messy, but I put a little frog stuffy here on the bed, which I hope she can still sleep, but we'll figure that out once we start getting into gameplay. But yeah, that's our little girl's room. And now heading over to our master bedroom. Right here, we've got a little bit of clutter. Nothing as crazy as the rest of the house, but just your average master bedroom. This is going to be the mom's room. Some posters on the wall. She's a young mom, so yeah, just your average master bedroom. And moving out of the master bedroom, now we're going to head into our backyard, which is just a little abandoned. I was kind of going for the abandoned backyard look. Just got some random stuff all over the table, alcohol, just random assortment of things that you'll find in a backyard. A little bike over there. You've got a grill, a cooler, a mess, swing set, a little garden patch that looks abandoned and was never growing any flowers. But yeah, I wanted that abandoned backyard look. So last but not least, that brings us to our front yard, which is just a bunch of junk. We have an old mattress over here, an old bike, an old rusty car that doesn't really have any hope. But yeah, just kind of a messy, abandoned front yard, I guess. And now for The Sims. I've moved into this household. We have single mother Victoria O'Connell and her daughter Emma O'Connell. They are so cute. Love them. They're absolutely adorable. But they're gonna go check out their new house, and we're gonna head back to the map and get on with our next house in Willow Creek. Okay, so moving on from the O'Connells, we are going to head right next door to build our second house in Willow Creek. So let's go there. Same as I did for the last house, I placed our low-income shell here, which I am going to extend into a family home because we are going to have a full-fledged family living in this one, which you can see I did off camera here. I did a bunch of the dirt, the dirty stuff off camera, rebuilt, made an upstairs, and this is going to be our shell now for our family who's going to move in here. So we're going to start off here with a bunch of the landscaping, and then we'll go into the house, and here I will allow the speed build to now take over. So enjoy. Well, we've officially made our second house in Willow Creek, which is looking quite abandoned, but this is our family home and we're gonna go inside and take a tour. Okay, so let's head into the front door where again we are greeted by our living room, our clutterful living room. We have a full family living in this house, so it is going to be a bit messier than our last, but we got shoes strewn about, but really love the way that living room came out. Here we have our kitchen, very blue, lots of clutter. Again, we've got a little weird dining room table here with some cigarettes on the table, just mess on the floor, mess on the walls, you know, the works. Heading over here, we're gonna head into our kids' room. Our kids are sharing a room in here. It's a boy and a girl. And this is where they're gonna sleep, and that's their room. So actually not as messy as you would think a kid's room would be, or at least not as messy as the last one we did. But you're gonna see a lot of these are similar layouts on this block because, you know, it was made by the same designer. But here's our bathroom, again, used the same kind of shower curtain thing, and just your basic downstairs bathroom. And we are going to head into now our teen boys room, which is giving very much teen boy. Just posters on the wall, shoes around town, stuff on the floor, some vinyls up on the wall, a little computer over there, a little iMac, if you will. And then what was our master suite in the other house is now a hallway that is going to lead upstairs. Just a very, very messy hallway. I hope they can walk, but we're gonna find out. That's their little mess of a hallway to get upstairs. So now heading on up the stairs to the second floor. We have a little hallway there, but we have our upstairs bathroom, which is a little bigger than a downstairs bathroom. Dirty, have the same shower thing going on, toilet, hamper, the works, just your basic necessities, a bathroom. What more can I say? Then we have our master suite, our master bedroom upstairs where our parents will be. This will be their room, some clothes on the floor, shoes on the floor, you know, just keeping up with the vibe here. A mess, quite a mess. Hamper, old boxes, things like that. So that is our master bedroom in our family home. So now we are back downstairs in our backyard where we have a swing set. I actually put a pool back here, which is cool. Little picnic table with a pizza on it, which I'm hoping someone is probably going to clean up soon, we hope. But an above ground dirty little pool back here. So just another little abandoned looking backyard with a swing set, grill, and the works. I didn't really get into the front yard in this, but that is the O'Connell's neighbor, our family home, which is looking quite abandoned. And now you are going to meet the family that is going to move into this household. And here are the Bradleys, our family living in this home. From left to right, we have Warren, who is the teen, Paige the mother, Macy the child, Grayson is the father, and Caden is the other child. So that is our family that is living in our second home in Willow Creek. They're so cute, so fun, excited to see what is in store for them. And with that, we're gonna head back to the map for our third build in Willow Creek. Next up is the Bradley's neighboring lot, where we are going to build a little park right next door. So let's head over there. Here we are at our lot. I just went ahead and placed a chain link fence, which is a neat little thing in debug. If you don't want to search forever in debug, just go to the gallery, and a fellow simmer has uploaded chain link fences. So I placed that down just to save some time, and we're gonna head right into the speed build. All right, and that is our park. I'm not going to do a full walkthrough, but we have some RVs sitting around. It's a little bit of an RV park slash playground. Some kids' bikes sitting around. I put a little dirt parking lot there, a little play set, some picnic tables, chests, swing sets, little tents, and that is neighboring the Bradleys and the O'Connells. So that is our park. So let's head back to the map and get on with the builds. Here we are at the next build site, which is on the other side of the O'Connells, so it's also their neighbor. I did the honors of already placing the shell down and doing some exterior work, so with that, let's get on to the speed build. Our fourth build in our Forever World has been finished. This is our next lot that we are going to go ahead and take a tour of. Heading into our front door, we're greeted with the living room. Again, this is kind of similar to the first build I made. We got grandma's old couch, very clutterful. We do have a teen girl living here, so the clutter is cluttering. Then our kitchen, again, probably the cleanest room in the house, except the floor is looking kind of crazy. But yeah, that is our kitchen. Then we're gonna head down the hallway into our master room, which is the teen girl's room. This is her room. It's giving teen, posters on the wall, and yeah, not much to it, but a lot of clutter. Boxes everywhere, bags hanging up, but that is our teen girl's room. Heading back down the hallway, we are going into grandma's room. I have a hospital bed here, but I did change this out because I didn't want her to be as geriatric as I had envisioned her to be, but we got an old TV in there, old lamp, just a bunch of clutter, some cereal, dirty plates. But yeah, I did switch this out to be a regular bed in gameplay because she looked a little too spunky to be in a hospital bed. I was like, that'll be in the future when she does become quite old. But here's our bathroom. Again, just a very simple bathroom, kind of like the rest, just your basic necessities. As you can tell, I love this shower curtain combo, half bath kind of thing going on there. Then we are here in the backyard, which again is quite an abandoned backyard. Oldie rusty car back there, some tires, picnic table, and a grill. And that's really all we've got back here. So these are our Sims going to move into this house. This is Terry and Sierra Nichols. Sierra is the teen Sim taking care of her grandma Terry. They also do have a cat named Tanner, but I'm very sad to announce that I was in gameplay the other day and we have learned that Tanner is no longer with us and has passed on. I can't lie, I was very sad to see that, but Sierra and Terry will be taking over this household without Tanner. So with that, let's head to our last and final build in Foundry Cove. For our final Foundry Cove build, I thought an apartment building would be fitting and kind of cool. So I got this apartment building off of the gallery from Wow Jenna Wow. Thank you for that. And right now it is 8 apartments, but I did change it to 4 apartments, which you will see when we get into the speed build right now. so we finished our first apartment in the apartment building. Coming through the front door here, we have just some paintings, some clutter on the ground, a bag, shoes, bag hanging, a little shoe rack, and then you come, and just some stuff on the ground outside the bathroom. But yeah, you come into the living room and it's just your typical My World Willow Creek living room. A mess. Just how I like it. But yeah, you got a little painting on the wall. This one we actually gave them real TVs, hanging TVs. Kitchen, clutter, again, pretty basic, nothing much going on here. The counters are pretty nice, nicer than the other houses in Willow Creek. But then we have the bathroom, which I did spend some extra time on this bathroom with some clutter on the counter there, walk-in shower, some shampoo, conditioner, then just your average apartment toilet. Coming out of there, we're going to go into our Girly Pops room, where I think it's adorable. Honestly, ate no crumbs. Looks really good. Messy, perfectly messy. I love the bed, love the pillows. I love her little desk there with the A. I think it's so cute, the tapestry on the ceiling. And yeah, that is really all there is to this apartment. So let's meet the individual who's moving in. This is Abigail Norton. She is a single female sim. I think I'm going to put her through nursing school, and this is just kind of all she could afford right now. So this is her home. And with that, we're going to move on to the next apartment. Here is our second finished apartment in this apartment building. It is very bare bones. There's no one going to be moving in just yet. I kind of wanted to leave this open for any potential new Sims that I wanted to make, but just a basic living room. Yeah, it just has the bare necessities, kitchen, stove, fridge, the works. But funny enough that I do say that I'm pretty sure an NPC Sim just recently moved into this one or the empty one I left upstairs. But yeah, just a basic bedroom, no clutter until we move our Sim in. So we will see. But there's our bathroom. And I'm going to make one just like this upstairs. I'm going to leave two apartments open in this building for any potential Sims that I want to make. So let's get on with the next apartment. now for the upstairs apartments, we have this one, which is actually, we have Sims moving into this one. So we do have some clutter, which you know is my favorite. But yeah, this is the upstairs apartment diagonal from Abigail. So this is our first bedroom. This is a 2-bedroom apartment, so the rooms are quite small. Had to fit it, but just some posters on the wall, clutter, clothes. There are 2 male Sims living here, so it's kind of a bachelor pad in here. And then in here we have just a small little bathroom with a toilet, walk-in shower. All of these apartments are going to have a walk-in shower just because for space-wise. And then our kitchen with some hot sauces in the back there, just a coffee pot, some clutter, some cereal, some dirty dishes, if you will. I don't know what's happening there. Okay. Moving on anyway. Going into the living room, which is kind of small. Hope they can walk around in here, but kind of had to angle the couch in hopes that they'll be able to walk. So here is our other guy's bedroom. Like I said, they're very small, so I couldn't like totally clutter them up without the risk of them not being able to walk around. So I just kind of put everything in one area, which I think it worked out. I think it's kind of cute, but those will be the 2 guys' rooms. So that is the second apartment that someone will be moving into. Here are our Sims that are moving into here. We have Liam Thompson on the left and Jack Gardner on the right. They are besties for the resties, and they are going to be living in that upstairs 2-bedroom apartment. So let's go ahead and make our last and final apartment and last and final build in Foundry Cove. Same kind of deal that I did with the downstairs apartment. I left this one super bare bones. Just this one is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment on the upper floor. Same thing. It's going to be very bare bones for a sim that I want to create or a sim that I want to move in here. Just kind of keeping some lots that have homes that I can move some more sims into and make more sims. So yeah, just a normal living room, normal kitchen. These apartments are a little more luxury than the rest of the houses, as you can tell. But yeah, that is our last and final build in Foundry Cove. So that was crazy, pretty time consuming, but we did it and we made it. All right, guys, now that we have built Foundry Cove in Willow Creek, our low income individuals who I love very much, I spent so much time on this little hub, and I hope you can see that. I mean, I really tried to open my mind and just let the creativity flow in this little town. So Foundry Cove is our first town in Willow Creek that has been completed with our Sims, with our builds, and I'm just so excited to actually get into gameplay. Eventually, I'm hoping I can give you guys an update on where these Sims have gone, if they're even alive, if they've had babies, moved out, etc., etc. I think this opens up such a big window and opportunity for really great Let's Plays. I really am hopeful and optimistic about this little fun adventure I am on in my Sims 4 journey. So with all that being said, we are hoping to move on to one of the other towns for the next video. Since we started straight from the bottom, I think we will move on to like our middle class folks in Willow Creek next, and then just take it from there and go up and up and up. And with all of that being said, this has been so much fun, and I am going to see you guys on our next little journey in Willow Creek. So I will see you guys there. Bye.